I do want to get into Pete Carroll. Yep. I know we did talk about him. Greatest Seahawks coach of all time.
Well,
right?
I mean, it's not even a debate.
I think it's worthy of a conversation, but he is, like, Mike Holmgren is a second.
Holmgren was good. He got them to a Super Bowl with Matt Hasselbeck as his quarterback. That's an awesome accomplishment, but he didn't win, and he didn't get to 2.
Okay, he did not win. You're not wrong there. But you also have to call it out. Like, when he got to Seattle, I don't know about you, but I wasn't a Seahawks fan as a kid, mainly because I had nobody in my life that was. And I was a bandwagon child. Like, I just saw the Niners, and the Niners were good, and I liked the color red. And the Seahawks were a joke.
They were.
And then Holmgren went there, and Sean Alexander was a thing, and Matt Hasselbeck, and oh my God, they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, the longevity argument, Pete Carroll will have it there. I would also add to that, you're not wrong about Holmgren arriving in Seattle.
We're in lockstep, though. It's Pete by a pretty good margin. Just Holmgren was also amazing.
Yes, he was. I don't want to downgrade what Holmgren accomplished there. I will also add to it, though, that I would argue that Seattle was a joke before Pete Carroll got there as well. Like that
Jim Mora year.
The Jim Mora year was just, I mean, the end of Holmgren wasn't great. They kind of fizzled out.
Yeah.
You hired Jim Mora for 2 years. They won 4 games in 5 games. Like that was dark. That was bad. It was ugly. And then here comes Pete Carroll, and immediately you're in the divisional round of the playoffs. You draft Russell Wilson, and you're off and running a couple of years later, and you get back to the playoffs. And what he did from a longevity angle, I want to read this real quick. I saw a tweet yesterday. So the coaching class that he was in, I love doing this because guys just don't stick around that often. Let me find this. Where did it go? So Pete Carroll was hired in 2010 to be the head coach of the Seahawks.
I was,
You were in Seattle when it happened.
I was interning. I took phone calls the minute it broke in the studio. Everybody was like, holy crap. Man, the phone calls. They hated that guy.
Here are some of the other hires in that 2010 coaching cycle. You ready for these? Chan Gailey was hired to be the head coach of the Bills.
Oof.
Chan.
Leslie Frazier was hired to be the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings.
So these are all teams at the exact same time as the Seahawks that were looking for a coach.
This is 2010. Okay. These are the coaches that got jobs.
Chan Gailey
to Buffalo. Leslie Frazier to Minnesota. How long ago does that feel?
Yeah.
Mike Shanahan to Washington, in which he would hire Sean McVay as his assistant tight ends coach. That's how long Pete Carroll was in Seattle.
You also, it didn't work out in Washington, obviously, for Shanahan. You can't really blame them for choosing Shanahan at that point.
No, it's just, I think it's not even to make fun of the other organizations. It's just to think of, remember when Chan Gailey was the coach of the Bills? That's when Pete Carroll started. Because nobody remembers Chan Gailey and the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
They were in that stretch of not going to the playoffs.
Pete Carroll yesterday did the press conference. We'll start here. He just talked about what this kind of all meant for him.
It's been an honor and a thrill to be part of this program, and I've loved every minute of it, and you've watched me love it in particular, and it's exciting that there's such a future here, and you can see it, and we know what's happening, and it's bright, and the club's got great places to go, and there's great chances. It don't ever happen automatically. There's a lot of work to be done and all of that, but the future is bright.
He also had this moment. This is a minute long, but he had this moment, and a lot of media members saying they'd never seen this of Pete Carroll before. So here's Pete Carroll.
For a variety of reasons, we have mutually agreed to set a new course and for the club to take on new leadership. And that's just a decision that's been made, and there's a lot that went into that and a lot that went behind that. And for all my guys, I think you know how much I probably competed for our perspective and our standpoint and all of that. I freaking didn't back off for an instant. And what's going to happen now is the process will start to get new leadership here, and then that'll be on Johnny's docket. He's going to get after that and make that happen with help of ownership and all that, and we'll be supporting them as much as possibly can happen so that they can do a great job with it. I'm so grateful to the coaches that have been with us for so many years. Also, all of the coaches that have been here for the years before that put up with my stuff and found way, to bring it to life daily. And I have great gratitude for that.
Getting choked up, Pete Carroll crying yesterday. I did see a really cool tweet, and I hope that I'm reading Twitter right. Looked like he had like a post-press conference dinner yesterday, and you had current players, and you had a combination, Legion of Boom guys. I saw Sherman. Obviously, Wagner's still playing for them. I saw Cam Chancellor was there. Russell Wilson also stopped by.
Showed up.
And, That's probably not the easiest thing for everybody, but I think that is a sign of, no matter how all those players feel about each other, maybe the ultimate sign of respect. One of my biggest signs of respect for coaches, if I hate the team that you're coaching and I dread playing the team that you're coaching, I should be tipping my cap to you when you do walk away, because it means you did a damn good job of worrying me as a sports fan. And that's what he did in Seattle. And, you know, his last primetime game is going to be a comeback win that was improbable against the Eagles, and he's wearing the goofiest hat ever. And
it cost me money because I gambled on the Eagles. Damn it, Pete.
I thought it was a really cool visual. Like, Richard Sherman has torched Russell Wilson on national television. They were two people just next to each other saying thank you to Pete Carroll, and I think that's the ultimate sign of respect, is when a coach goes out like that, even though he's not going out on his own, all of those players rallying around him, thanking him, and telling them how much they appreciate it.
We had the opportunity to go up a few years in a row to Seahawks training camp and do a show, and it was a lot of fun for us just to be around an NFL team. We don't have an NFL team in this market, just to be at the facility and get to interview players. And it was genuinely fun to watch Pete Carroll operate, because you hear the stories, you see him on the sideline on TV, but to see him in person at practice, running around, playing catch,
wearing gloves,
joking with guys. You're like, how old is he? He's 69 years old, 68 years old. Like, what is he looked like he was 17 out there, just a kid in a candy store having fun. And I think it's one of the elements of Pete Carroll that I have always tried to institute on this show, and that is, like, if you're having fun, people can notice that you're having fun. And it was always a joy to watch Pete Carroll coach football. It never felt like he was angry, or it never felt like he didn't want to be there. He just seemed like he was having a great time no matter what was happening. He was smacking his gum, laughing, taking your shirt off when DK Metcalf got there.
One of my favorite moments.
He is one of the coolest figures that we have ever seen in football, and I don't know what the future holds for him. If it's an advisory role with the Seahawks, if he gets another coaching opportunity somewhere, I don't know where he goes, but it's been a joy to watch him on the sideline.